All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's YouTube video. It is the 4th of March, and it's actually the third trading day. And yeah, let's just kind of get into it. I ended up taking two losses today, two trades, two losses, back to back. Lost 2% in total, which sucks, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's just get right into those trades. So, all right, here they are, and I'll kind of show you a little bit more about them later. But let's actually start from ground zero. So 9:30 opens, right? So coming to the day, I was leaning more bearish, or actually, to be honest, I wasn't really leaning any direction, because we had a little bit of like split conditions. So, for instance, what I mean by that is that we ended up before market open, we ended up sweeping into this hourly and then traded into this 4 hour right here, right for our bearish gap above. And then from there on, I wanted to see two kind of scenarios take place. And let me just make this a little bit easier for y'all. So yeah, from there I wanted to see two scenarios take place. I wanted to see either a sweep lower, right, towards this 5 minute and 15-minute unfilled gap, and then a continuation higher towards this, what's it called, hourly intermediate high, right? So that's kind of a narrative that I wanted to take. Alternatively, I could also see us going higher, taking this out since we have low resistance liquidity above us, and then just continuing lower. And so that was another valid draw, right? So then kind of what happened exactly was that, well, you'll see in a second. So we end up sweeping higher. So market opens, we end up sweeping higher, taking this out. And then, to be honest with you, I actually did want to take a coming into market open trade because we did end up sweeping out this 5 minute intermediate low, which is, I think, also a 15-minute. So in my head, we also opened up this, I think it was a 2 minute. Yeah, or 3 minute. It was a 3 minute, so 3 minute gap. If we ended up closing below here, I would have taken a trade up to this buy side liquidity, but price ended up just wicking above, or like basically completely invalidating that trade idea. So sucks, but it would have played out. Um, but yeah, and then from there on, I wanted to see where we'd react off of this. Essentially, just looking for shorts. And then from there on, I saw that price ends up invalidating this 3 minute gap, which is the highest time frame inversion. That is the trading leg that swept into here, right? So in my head, I'm like, great. What do I want to see? That inversion, right? We caught this inversion to the downside. Stop at the body, and then just target a good 1-to-1, break even at that 15-minute, right? So this is the first trade that I took. Why is this trade not necessarily valid? Because if you look at ES already traded towards this 5 minute gap down here, which is actually a, yeah, okay, I was right. Yeah, ES ended up trading into this 5 minute, can't spell, down here, which is the discount, right? Which makes it perfect for price to react higher from there, even though we both ended up sweeping out this hourly intermediate high plus buy side liquidity, right? So from there, I should have honestly just not traded, or two, because price ended up wicking lower, right? I should have just like took my stop to break even almost immediately because of that, but I ended up not doing that and ended up just being wicked out at my stop loss. And then from there, what did I end up seeing happen? Price trade lower, or trade higher actually. And honestly, I could have caught a good long towards this unfilled, or sorry, towards this free sweep, right? And I think there was an opportunity right here. Actually, I think it was on the 4. Yeah, there was a good opportunity right here where I could have entered at this position and then just targeted this right here, right? And then probably move my stop loss to break even at some point in time in there. But I was in the trade at the time, and I didn't really fully notice until after. This would have been a valid trade because why? We had a resweep of this 15, right? Resweep of this 5, and then ES was also trending higher, right, from this premium, or sorry, from this discount. So we could have ended up doing that. And as soon as like Nasdaq hit that SM or that hourly intermediate, then we could have just well been good at our break even, but or been good at our TP. Sadly, didn't catch that trade. Then I thought, well, since price is bouncing off of this, right? We ended up sweeping into this 15-minute intermediate high. What else could we be reacting off of towards, right? We still had our 15-minute, and we still had a hourly intermediate low that we still could, trade into. So, and also ES and NQ had this SMT, internal SMT. So that's kind of something that I wanted to look for price to, uh, what differences do we have in price action, right? So I ended up doing that. And then what did we end up having? We ended up having a 1-minute inversion to the downside, right? Closing below this gap. Let me just see. Yep. So ignoring that. So from there, we have our draws, we have our target, right? So either way, something I kind of wanted to see happen, right? Towards this 15-minute, and then if we wanted to, we could take longs towards here. And then just entering on NQ or MNQ instead, right? So from here, ES looks good. We have low resistance liquidity towards the downside, hourly intermediate low. And then yeah, I just entered from there and then ended up getting stomped out completely. Love it. What I failed to notice here was that we actually had previous day highs above us right here. Right, what is this? Previous day highs, right? So before that, even before entering this trade, we're gonna enter at, I think right here. We are on 1 minute. Yeah, before that, what do we have up right up here at our stop? At our stop, we have previous day highs. So I think that because of that, price wanted to go and seek higher, right? And we end up getting stomped out. Price seeks out our previous day highs. Eventually, there we go. So one thing I also failed to notice was that I was completely basing off of the interaction with ES valid based on this fair value gap intermediate high right here. This 5-minute intermediate high. But what I failed to notice was that ES ended up actually invalidating it completely, right? We invalidated the bearish gap, so on the 5. So because of that, I should have just not taken the trade, to be honest, in general, right? Probably shouldn't have taken the trade in general because of this invalidation. So therefore, this 5-minute kind of goes away. And also it's just telling that hey, ES actually wanted to go higher from there after this resweep to this premium or this discount gap. So overall, yeah, like the narrative was basically it was just a complete loss on my end. On my end, two losses, and my bias ended up being wrong. Previous day highs ended up getting tapped into, and yeah, it's just honestly a failure on my part. But am I going to like freak out? No. I ended up risking a lot more with like I ended up risking like 1,000 in total. I ended up losing 1,000 in total. But at the end of the day, am I going to react to this? No. Am I going to um beat myself down because of this? No. Am I going to, do anything else? No. Because at the end of the day, it's just a loss is a loss. It counts towards um me just being unprofitable, but at the same time it's me trying to grow. And honestly, bro, I'm not trying to give this any excuse. I did like lose and whatever. I'll just move on from it because at the end of the day, it's just a loss. It's 2 losses, whatever, out of like the whole year. And if this is a loss that I need to take in order for me to become profitable, then I'm just gonna do it. So you know what? Like, I guess I'm trying to reframe these losses as learning opportunities, right? Like first trade, definitely should not have taken because ideally that discount, right, that ES swept into, we shouldn't have traded. We should have just waited. We also had news at 10 a.m., so that could have been also something we should have waited for. And then the second trade, well, we should have just noticed what areas were above us, right? Why? What reasoning did price have to go higher? Well, we had previous day highs above us. Um, we had more draws above us. We had that 4 hour, right? So something to look into and just kind of rethink about my bias. And honestly, I could have caught longs. Longs would have been good, especially after like sweeping out this 5 minute right here. ES didn't really need, or sorry, NQ didn't really need to go down here because ES already took it out. Um, but like going from here is just looking at the narrative and then seeing where we can go from here. But yeah, honestly, today was just one of those days, I guess. But I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna have fun today. I'm gonna, you know, try not to let this affect my whole entire day, because at the end of the day, trading is just trading, and it's supposed to build you, not break you. So yeah, just have to, I'm gonna take this seriously. I make it sound like I'm not gonna take this seriously, but I am. Um but it's the idea of just not letting it affect you so much to the point where you're just going to allow yourself to wallow in shame. So I'm making this video as sort of like this accountability to myself to do better, for tomorrow. And if needs be, like, just keep pushing, keep moving forward. This loss sucks. It sucks to lose, but at the end of the day, I feel better for admitting that, this is who I am. This is kind of like what I need to do to keep improving on myself. So I need to do better, and I will do better. And I hope you all take a less or take some points out of this. And well, yeah, uh, basically that's it. So without further ado, I hope you'll have a good rest of your day. And if you like the content, please give a like and subscribe. If not, no stress, no worries. I'm always going to be here. So yeah, hope you all have a good rest of your day. Peace.